What's going on, guys? Car review guys here. My name is AJ, and today we are back in the 2022 Camry TRD as promised. So we're going to talk about the 5 things that I hate about this car. Okay, and the reason I'm doing that, full disclaimer, this is just nitpicking the car. Okay, this isn't like this is a piece of trash car or anything. I'm just nitpicking the car. This is what Toyota could do to take this car to the next level. This is my opinion, and then also reading on the forums what many other people are saying as well. So I'm trying to help voice their opinions along with mine. So these are the 5 items, okay? So without further ado, let's jump on into this video. Okay, number 1 on this list, for sure, hands down, bar none, number 1 thing I've seen on every forum. It's my number 1 complaint for sure. The lack of options on the TRD. Now, keep this in mind. Toyota's main point of this car was being one of the cheapest, or the cheapest, one of the 2, for a V6. It's supposed to be the cheapest level V6 that you can buy, so it's sporty and it's also affordable. Now, they aren't wrong. They did hit their mark on that in terms of the Toyota fleet. But if you compare this car, base model, let's say Kia Stinger GT, which is the V6 twin turbo, and then this is obviously naturally aspirated V6, you're really plus or minus $3,000 to $4,000 difference between the 2 cars. Okay, just depends what options you get on this car, and if you get nothing on the Stinger bare bones, it's very, very close and comparable in price. So keeping that in mind, I understand that's where this car has to lack some options, right? Because in order to hit that price point, you have to not have those options. But the complaint is that you cannot option this car to a higher MSRP. List some of the options that you cannot get on this car, flat out. Whether you wanted to spend more money or not, there is no options to get this if you want the TRD, okay? So, there is no heated or cooled seats. There's no heated steering wheel. There is no LED front headlights. There is no sunroof. There is no dual climate in this car. It is single zone only. So there's that. And then last but not least, there is no memory seating in this car. No option for it. So those are definitely frustrating to not be able to get on this car. Like, as far as, like, I would say, like, core items you would want to add potentially. The other thing that to me is not a big deal at all, but you also, there's no wireless phone charger. So, I mean, I don't really care about that. Some people would pay plenty of money to get that, but like, the tray is already here and everything, so I don't know why they wouldn't allow you to option that for maybe like $200 or $300. I don't know. Not sure. Can't explain it. But anyway, that's number 1 on the list, and it's the biggest complaint, which is why we spent the most amount of time on it. Moving on to number 2. Alrighty, number 2. So number 2 would be the fact that you can only get 3 color options on this car. I could have lumped this in with the first point, but I really feel like the exterior is totally different, and maybe not as big of a deal to some people as interior creature likings that you would want. So anyway, the 3 colors are Cavalry Blue, which is what this car is, and you guys have seen in the full review, which I will link right here for you. I like it. I mean, it's not for everybody for sure, because it's a bold color, but I do like the color. The other 2 colors are white and red. Those are the only other 2 colors that you can actually get on this car. Now, me, myself, if I were to spec this car, I would want gray. There's no gray. I can't get it. Not an option. So, a little bit frustrating. Toyota, I don't understand why they couldn't allow you to get more colors, but hey, it is what it is. Number three on the list. And this one, again, I'm gonna reiterate, this is just to make the car that much better. It's not that it's already good, okay? There's nothing wrong with it, but this is to make it better. If this car had like another 50 horsepower, it would make this car like, it would be at Stinger level, Kia Stinger level. And that's really one of the cars that's probably competition in the price range. 50 more horsepower. Now, I do want to point out though, I do like that it's naturally aspirated and doesn't have any sort of turbos or superchargers or anything like that. That's really nice. This is a dying breed, naturally aspirated. I can certainly appreciate that, so I can understand why Toyota didn't. But I feel like they maybe could have got 50 more horsepower out of this car somehow. I don't know how, but I feel like that's possible. And 50 horsepower in this car at roughly 3,500 pounds, you would feel it, especially in a 0 to 60. So that's one thing. And then to pair with this same point, to make it quicker, at least off the line, even at 301 horsepower that it has, it chirps the wheels, it constantly is fighting for traction. They have an all-wheel drive system for the 4-cylinder, but they don't offer it on the V6. Why? Why? The all-wheel drive system in this car would be amazing. Again, I'm just comparing it to a competitor, not the only car, there's other cars, but the Kia Stinger, you can get it in all-wheel drive. Even in the base GT, you can get it in all-wheel drive. So that's one thing that I feel like they could have done, especially when they already have it for the 4-cylinder. That would make this car like just the next level. So again, if you want all-wheel drive, you're not getting a TRD, just saying. Number 4 on the list requires us to jump outside the car so you guys can see what I am talking about. So number 4 on the list is fake vents. Okay, and I'm not complaining because like they need to be functional because this car is like that fast. It's just like the aesthetics of it, the way it looks. Like you have this nice grille right here, right? Like it looks super aggressive because you got the mesh style grille. And then like if you get closer, actually, these vents right here are just plastic. It doesn't go through. Like these I can stick my finger through, right? But here I can't. So obviously this over here is actually like functioning because it's cooling the radiator and the motor and all this stuff, or air through the radiator rather. But like, I don't know, it just looks kind of funny because the two different designs. So there's those, and then if we walk around here to the back, actually, there is more fake vents right here. Now, don't get me wrong, it looks good, right? Like from here, like that's a good look. But it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of funny looking. Like it's just clipped in there. Like you can see the gapping and everything. So I don't know. I feel like that's number 4 on the list. Like there's just some fake vents, and I feel like, you know, they could do better and make them functional. All right, guys, last but not least, number 5 on the list. And number 5 on the list is back here in the interior. And, you know, again, we're really nitpicking this car because you'll notice that like the trend of this video is like nothing like I hate about this car. Like there's some cars I test drive and it's got like crazy wind noise, or the handling, it just feels like it. This car is not, like all the way around, like it's a really solid car, which doesn't surprise me because it's Toyota. And very quickly, I'll tell you a very quick story. When I worked in automotive, like as in supply chain, there's no OEM, BMW, Mercedes, it does not matter. There is not a higher quality standard than Toyota, period. I worked at a tier 1 aluminum supplier, and I'm telling you, like, there's no one higher quality than Toyota. And I'm not just saying that, like, that is a fact, because I can't tell you how many times Toyota would just deny our material. They were like, no, we don't want it, it's no good. But you would like give it to anyone else would accept it, but not Toyota. So anyway, number 5 on the list. They really made this look a little bit analog, or it is analog. They made it look outdated because it's analog. And what I'm talking about here is the instrument cluster. So you'll see there, it is different because they made it red, which looks sporty, right? Which is what you kind of want in this car. But you got this little tiny display, which is subpar at best for the looks. It's not very clear. It looks like maybe like 2014 era, somewhere in there. And then you got analog, like, you know, I don't know. they could have spent $500 extra, made it completely LED, digital, at least made the whole screen in the middle, like the whole thing, just a big screen and nice and clean LED, but they didn't. So this is what you get. It works, it's functional, there's no issues, but long story short, that's number 5 on the list. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap up today's videos. That was the 5 things on the list that I hate about this car, but that's just the things I feel like you should know about this car if you're in the market for it, and what's important to you and what's not. Because if it's more important about how this car drives, like as far as like the sportiness, like a good suspension, like stiff, like responsiveness, this is the car for you for sure. It's bar none, it is above the other Camrys for sure. Stopping power, steering, you name it, it's all better in every aspect compared to other Camrys. So the next video is going to be 5 things I love about this car, and again, I'll link again, right here's the review, or here, wherever it goes. I've already done a review on this car, and then towards the end of the week, we're going to do what it's like to really live with this car. But just like that, guys, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.